Hello, beautiful soul, and welcome back to the Sovereign Goddess podcast. Today's episode is a sacred one. It's tender, raw, and is deeply necessary. This episode was inspired by a courageous message from one of our listeners, a goddess who, like many of us, has been walking through fire, asking for guidance and receiving silence, calling in light and being met with darkness, doing the work and still feeling like the universe isn't listening. If you've ever felt like your prayers were intercepted, like your spirit guides went silent, or like life handed you the opposite of what you asked for, this episode is for you. We're going to talk about what it feels like when spiritual guidance hurts, when you question your connection, when you wonder if you're cursed, when everything in your body says, this doesn't make sense. And yet, here you are, still showing up. Today, I want to hold space for that pain, not to fix it, not to bypass it, but to sit with it, speak into it, and hopefully help you find your center again. We'll talk about the difference between real guidance and energetic interference, about the exhaustion of spiritual seeking, and how to return to a trust that is rooted not in blind belief, but in sovereignty. So take a deep breath, beloved. You are not alone. Let's begin. Hello. Welcome, welcome, welcome. So, well, first of all, for those of you who have been commenting on the podcast, like on my YouTube or even on Spotify, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. Like I said, please continue. You can send me a message. You can comment on there. I do read the comments, so please do. And your comments do inspire me. You can even pop in and be like, hey, I would love to hear you talk about this topic. But I read this specific comment and I had to answer. I had to answer by creating a whole episode around it because it is so important. It is so important. It's also something that I've been through, I've walked through many times. So, yeah, let's just begin with this. I wonder, let me find the message real quick because I wanted to read the message to you real quick. So, this was from, I think it's I'ma be 7952. And this was on the YouTube page, on my YouTube page. And she says, I hear you, goddess. I feel bad lately as over the last 7 months, a lot of things gone wrong. Worse because when I call in for guidance or help, the indication is that the opposite will happen or that it will resolve shortly. This hasn't been the case. I have been scammed right and left center. I feel my requests are being intercepted somehow. I don't know who I can trust or why my guides repeatedly allow me to be deceived, and it feels very hurtful. If I listed all that's gone wrong, it would appear as though I'm an evil person because it doesn't make no sense, especially when asking for guidance. Of course, I know to never give up, but the pain is real and feels like a hex. So, I'm a B. Thank you, thank you, thank you for showing up in such a vulnerable place and allowing me to just see you, allowing us to be able to witness you in this space. You're not alone. I'm going to tell you this. And hopefully, when you listen to this podcast episode, hopefully it brings you some clarity around what might be going on. And, if you heard this and you're like, oh my gosh, yes, I'm going through this, or oh my gosh, like I've been through this, what is it about it? Welcome. Welcome to our spiritual journey as human beings with a soul. Here's the thing. So, first of all, when I read this, I was like, Spirit, the way Spirit talks to us, the way the divine talks to us is very different from what we are used to. I mean, Spirit language can be quite confusing if you're not in tune. Actually, I think the prerequisite to understanding the messages that come through spirit or your guides or the divine is you operating from your heart and from your like your soul. Like you need to be in here in order to receive what needs to come through very clearly. If you're not, if you've stepped outside of yourself and you're trying to receive, especially if you're in your mind and you're trying to receive spirit's message, it can be very confusing. So first thing first, like I would ask, am I experiencing this because I'm in the state of the mind, or am I in my heart? That would be the first. Anytime you're doing any reading, right? Any kind of, whether you're doing a reading for yourself or you're praying and you're listening for an answer, as you are speaking to the divine acts, am I speaking from my mind or my heart? That's going to make a huge difference. Spirit, like the divine, our guides, they all speak to the heart. They all move through the soul. It's like it moves through the higher self to the soul and then to the heart. And that's where we're supposed to hear it. Right. So if you're here, again, it's going to be very confusing. Right. So that's the first thing that I wanted to put out there. Ask, where am I operating from? From the mind or the heart? And then second, asking, am I listening? Am I really listening? And when I say listening, I'm not talking about, like having a perceived notion on what you want the answer to be. Does that make sense? We all do it, right? It's like, please tell me this, please tell me this, please tell me this, because you really want to experience that. But spirit always has something else. Spirit knows what's best for us. Our higher selves can see even be, way beyond what we can even conceive. So we might not get the answers that we want, but we'll definitely get the answers that we need in the moment. I love that. We might not get the answers that we want, but we will definitely receive the answers that we need in the moment. Right? I shouldn't say in the moment, because sometimes the answers that we receive, it might not even be for right now. And then a week later, it shows up and you're like, whoa. Or a month later, it shows up and you're like, oh my gosh, right? Again, spirit speaks to us in a very unique way. And we need to really listen without trying to push what we want on spirit. Let's put it that way. And we need to open our heart and really listen, like just receive and listen, right? So I'm gonna share my journey with this. I've been through many dark nights of the soul. Just last year, I went through another big one. I'm gonna share the one from last year, where it's like a whole 2 months of this journey. But there was a part I did get to the point where I was like, oh my gosh, spirit, like I felt that silence. I was like, my spirit team are not talking to me. Like they are not, they're around me. I can feel them. I can see them in my third eye. They're here with me, but then they weren't talking to me. I'm asking questions and I'm asking for guidance and it's like silence. And I was like, what is happening? And there was a point where I completely broke down. I mean, I felt like in the moment of breaking down, this is the vision that I saw. The Divine Mother came out, and it was like the earth opened, and I went into the divine earth. Like I just went into the earth, and it was like dark, and I was scared, and I looked up, and my guides were all standing there, and I could feel their desire to want to reach and like help me. And then I heard, but if we did that, you wouldn't receive what you need to receive. If we did that, if we saved you, if we pulled you out of this journey, you wouldn't receive what you need to receive. It was, I mean, it was painful, okay? And, there's anger, there's pain, but I looked up and they're all looking at me. And then, one of my guys, the look that she gave me was like, you got this. You got this. Just move through it. You got this, right? But I remember that so vividly. That feeling of like they were also in pain, watching me in pain, wishing that they could do something, wishing that they could save me. They could just reach down there and help me up. And they just simply held that space for me to move through that journey. I mean, for me, that it was a soul death. It was a big soul death. Hence why going into the earth and then the Divine Mother working on me and helping me to shed. After I came out of the cocoon, it was like a rebirth. It was a very fascinating experience. It was a physical experience and a spiritual experience. Like as I was moving through the physical pain, the tears and just that gut wrenching feeling, right? And at the same time, receiving that spiritual vision of what was going on, which was quite a gift, right? To receive that. So I wasn't just stuck in the physical pain and trying to understand it. It was like, this is what you're feeling physically, but this is also what's going on energetically. And I feel like just receiving those really helped me to do what I needed to surrender to the process, to surrender to all that pain and be one with that, the emotions I was feeling, the doubts that, I mean, we're talking about dark night of the soul. Here's the thing, when I'm moving through these times, there's no love and light here. Okay. Even when I'm talking to spirit from this place, my emotions are out. I am angry. I am sad. I am like, I mean, just think about some of the worst feelings you can ever imagine. Like, I'm going through that and I am speaking to the divine from that place. I'm being real. I'm being, I'm showing up as exactly how I feel, right? And probably that's why what makes the experience so powerful. I'm not doing it because I feel like I'm going to get like some kind of spiritual vision. I'm doing it because it hurts and I need help. And I'm asking for help. And I'm asking, why is this happening? Why does this keep happening? Why am I doing the work and still experiencing this BS? Like, I am asking the question. I always tell my clients is when you're working with spirit, when you're working with your guides, please don't sugarcoat it. They know you, okay? They know you are a human being on this planet. They know there's nothing easy about this journey that we chose to be on. They understand that. And they so appreciate it if we can truly show up in our darkest moment and just be that. Your guides will never push you away and be like, oh, you have anger, so I'm not gonna be there. That's not why they're silent, okay? They're not silent because they're like, oh my gosh, you're not light. No, go fix yourself. And then when you're light again, come talk to me. Or when you're holy again, come talk to me. No, like as I'm talking, our guides are like, oh my God, I can't believe you guys believe this. Do you understand the amount of love that we have for you? That we hold space for you regardless of how you show up. And the love increases when you are at your lowest point. We will never stop loving you. Ever, 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 ever. We will never stop holding space for you. And our love and our support for you increases and intensifies when you are your lowest. And you might not hear us, but this is an invitation for you to open up your other senses. And for me, the examples that I just felt them. And that was the hope I needed. I felt them and I was able to also see them in with my spiritual eye, right? Depending on what your gift is, that's how we all have a different way of experiencing spirit. Some people can see angels and ascended masters like they're standing right there, like you're seeing me right now. And like for me, it's through my mind's eye. Like I see it like a video. That's how I see like pictures, very colorful pictures. And then there are others that just know. You just know they're there. There's this unshakable knowing that they're here. Like as I'm saying this, like our guides are like gathering. They're so excited for this this topic. I am I hope you're feeling the energetic transmission that is happening underneath my words. Actually helping you to clarify your field so you can hear clearly, so you can see clearly, so you can sense clearly. Your guides are not playing around. They're here for you and they want you to understand that regardless of what you're going through, they're here for you. When our guides go silent, just like when I was going through my soul death, It's because they have to pause so that I can experience what I need to experience to move to the next level, or to grow, or to heal, or to finally shed what I've been asking to shed for the longest time, right? But it's because they're giving us space to do what we need to do. But it doesn't mean they're leaving our side. They're still there. Imagine like you are on the ground, you're crying, and like your gut is just like, oh, like you're screaming, and you have this this circle of guides, and they're all holding hands and they're singing. And you might not see them physically, but they're just holding that space for you, allowing you to shed, allowing you to scream, allowing you to be, to really experience it. Because that deep, that dark night of the soul, that experience is what creates transformation. And that's exactly what has happened to me over and over. A lot of people have this perception of, oh, if you're a goddess, if you're a spiritual thing, you don't have challenges. You don't, are you kidding me? I moved through more dark nights of the soul than you can ever imagine. I feel like the more adept you are, sometimes I feel like the harder the challenges. But then what I also know is that these challenges come to us because we are equipped for them. I went through all of those dark nights of the soul because I was powerful enough to do that. I was strong enough to do that. I had the courage I need to move through the fires. And I did. It doesn't mean it didn't hurt. It doesn't mean that it didn't make me want to leave this whole experience, right? But we are never alone. So yeah, let's go back to that. When your guides get quiet, when it feels like your prayers are not being heard, which I hope that now you know that the divine hears you. Again, it's like this is what I'm getting. It's like every support, every guide, the divine, like they all quiet down to witness your transformation, to witness the burning down of the phoenix into ashes, and then to witness you rising up through the ashes into something else. They're witnessing the liquefying of you getting into that cocoon and then emerging as the butterfly. Anytime you feel that silence from the divine, from now on, now that you've listened to this, you know this. I hope that I'm sharing this with you. See, I didn't have this insight until I went through it. I'm hoping that by me sharing this with you, that it lessens the pain. It lessens the feeling of betrayal from spirit. I hope that now you know that they're with you, your guides, spirit, divine. Oh my gosh, they're even closer than ever when you are going through those dark nights of the soul. And what they're doing is simply gathering around you with immense support and love and witnessing your transformation, whatever that is. Oof. Let's just take that in. Take a deep breath in and out. Just let that sink in. Let all of that sink in. There's so much pouring, so much light codes coming through. just, just receive. This is a powerful transmission here. Mm, yeah, just let it sink in on every level of your being. Let the truth sink in. So that's the first part I wanted to talk about. When your guides, when it seems like the divine, all that is holy just is silent and they're not hearing you. The other part that I also want to talk about, and when I sent a message to Amabi, I wondered if she had a ritual of light that allows her. So if you've been following this podcast for a while, you know that in each of the podcasts, I always walk you through a meditation where we merge heaven and earth within you, the light of the divine mother and divine father within your heart, and then expands and create this bubble of light around you. That's the ritual. Like when you do that, and I've talked about this, when you step into the space of divine holiness, I'm going to say that because that's divine love, like the light of the divine around you. Anything that is not in that vibration cannot come through. Anything that is not in that vibration cannot come through. So no fake Archangel Michael can come through with a message. Only the real Archangel Michael can come through, and you will know, you'll feel it because they're coming through the divine, right? You create this holy barrier of light around you from the heart of source above, from the heart of the divine mother below, protecting you. And as I'm saying this, it's like for some of you, it looks like wings actually like engulfing you like this. So you look like you're in an egg of wings, like just around you. When you have a ritual like this, you set the tone. You set a higher tone so that not just anything can come through. So your prayers go straight to the divine, right? There's no, like, nothing can come in and trick you or intercept you. When you don't have this in place, you're open to anything. And especially if you are a healer, an intuitive, if you're someone who communicates or interacts in that etheric realm or spirit realm, if you do not have this in place, it's a reason why I keep teaching this over and over. It's a prerequisite when it comes to all of my programs. All of my clients know this by now. We do it over and over and over. Every call we do this, right? Because it's very important. If you're working with the divine, you don't have something like this set up for you, you are open to everything. And I'm talking about the good and the bad. You can be easily deceived. You think you're talking to Archangel Michael, and it's like some weird ass spirit, you know, pretending they're Archangel Michael. And this whole time you thought you're working with Archangel Michael. And it can do some, I mean, I've heard some stories that are, it will make someone just shut down their connection to spirit. It can be very dangerous. It can be disheartening. So the other part of this is, do you have your divine protection on? Are you anchored into your divinity? Have you claimed your divine birthright, which is just you connected to heaven and earth and merging it into your heart and creating that bubble of light around you? That's all it is. When you do that, you claim your space, you claim your divine space, and you say, anything that is not of this divine love, this divine radiance, cannot exist in my space. That's what you're saying. Whew, I hope you can feel this. Like this, it feels like an earthquake happening. Hmm. Take a deep breath in and out. If you don't have this set up where you have heaven and earth merging around you, or the love of the divine father, divine mother merging around you, you are open to everything. Which means that if you're trying to pray to the divine, something can come and knock it away. And you think you're praying to the divine, and it's like, nope, you're not getting that, right? The tricksters can come in when you're not in your sovereign light. There's a lot of tricksters out there in spirit. You know, we tend to look at this duality in our physical reality, and the same thing happens in the spiritual reality. There is light and there is dark. That is why it's so important to be engulfed in the light, in the radiance of the divine, in the sun of the divine. Don't play around with that. Get your spiritual technologies activated. Your higher self is the key. There's a reason why I keep returning you back to that continuously. The higher self is the key. Activating your connection with your higher self has its own technologies that will blow your mind. And I think I've I did a whole episode about that. So maybe that'll be the next one where I reintroduce it again so you can learn about that and get that activated around you. There's a reason why I teach these. It's not just another fancy spiritual tool you can put in your toolbox. It is very much needed for you to thrive as a divine being in a human body, having a human experience. So, if you're experiencing something like this, do you have a spiritual protection? Are you spiritually protected by the Divine Father, Divine Mother, your guides and guardians? Like the protection, the levels of protection is oh man, if I tell you, like, that I kind of connect you to the bigger one. If you have that simple meditation in place where you open up and you receive the light from the divine from above and the divine from below, and you bring it into your heart and mix it all together, and then you expand it, you're set. If you do this in the morning before you start your day, you're set. It does not even have to take long. It can be as simple as I'm explaining. You can even do it with me as I keep repeating it, and you can feel the difference in the energetic shift. That bubble of light not only protects you, also clears you and aligns you to the truth of who you are, aligns you to the true divine light, okay? The true source, the true guide. You hearing what I'm saying? You feeling what I'm saying when you have this divine protection. So that's the other thing. If you are just wide open and you're trying to create something, call in something, you're being bombarded by unnecessary energies. Create a shield. Get your wings out. Call your higher self. Create that, calling your team to surround you in the golden light. But most importantly, bring heaven and earth around you. Merge it into your heart and expand it around you. If you do this, everything else will be in line. And then you won't be tricked anymore. That can stop a lot of the BS. Let me know if you have any questions about that. So the first part I talked about is because, when things get quiet, when we're not hearing anything from our guides or the divine, or our prayers go unanswered, it's because the team is holding space for a major transformation that is happening within you. And if they intervene, it's going to affect that transformation. You wouldn't be able to complete it. You would be right back to where you started. They don't want that for us. They want us to just move through it and move to the next level, right? And then the second part is what might be interfering with what you're trying to call in. And what by creating or calling in a divine protection will get rid of all the noise and all the tricksters and all of that. And it will align you constantly, always to the true north. Take a deep breath in. When you have this bubble of light around you, if you have energy leaks, which means that there's tears and rips in your energy field, which most people don't even realize that they do, and they just leaking energy out, and they constantly feel drained. They constantly, things are getting through that should not be getting through, right? When you put that bubble of light around you, all of those get fixed in a way. All the tears get rewoven and reinforced again. It gets stronger this time. The more you do it, it's an impenetrable divine force around you. It is oof. Like you just have to try it. And it's like once you try it, the days that you don't do it, you will feel it. That's how powerful it is. It is powerful. Let's see. Is there anything else, Spirit, that you would like me to share on this topic. So I hope this makes sense. There's different levels to this, and I kind of talked about the important parts because these two that I talked about, if you understand those and you have the systems in place, you're set. Like you're good. You're good. Right. I have my bubble on. I have my wings out, which connects me to well, what am I looking for? My angelic self, right? My angelic code, my angelic expression, and the angelic realm. I have my powerful golden dragon who walks with me. I have my team around me. I'm surrounded by the love of the divine father, divine mother. And even in that, I still move through dark night of the soul, which is them just at the time where they just witness me, right? When I can't hear them. And I was like, God, one of my prayers, I remember I was like, please do not forsake me. Do not leave me, because I don't want to exist in this world without you, without your grace, without your love, without your protection. Don't forsake me. Like that was one of my prayers. Like I would repeat it. It was like on repeat because it was so quiet. For someone who works with the divine, and I'm constantly hearing them and I feel them, like when that happens, it is like, oh, it is so lonely. Is one of the worst feelings you can ever feel. It's like being ripped away from your source of security. And, that's just an illusion because we're not really being ripped away. The divine is right there. Our guides are right there. They just simply witnessing us. They're still loving us. They're still holding that space and chanting and singing to us saying, you got this, keep going, you got this. I know it hurts, keep going, right? Here's the thing. You're not being punished. You're not cursed. You're just being reminded to remember your power. You're being reminded to remember your power. If divine and our guides always interject, we will be heavily dependent on them. We would never understand how powerful we are. To be able to have such powerful guides, we ourselves are as powerful. I want you to understand this. Look at you guys around you. If you think they're badasses, you are too. You have to be in the same frequency as them in order to be able to work with them, to be in their energy, to hear them. You understand what I'm saying? So sometimes they have to give us space to really understand that we have this power, that we're just as powerful. They're like, you are so powerful, you just have no idea. I'm going to let you experience this so that when you walk through that fire, you're like, I just did that. I just did that. I just moved through that. I didn't think I would be able to, but I did it. Have you ever done something or completed something that you never thought you would be able to do? And how do you feel afterwards? You feel like a badass. And that's the same concept. Divine loves to remind us of our potential and our power. Our guides are here to remind us of that we are not powerless. We are not this like vulnerable, chicks walking around without their mothers and, in the open field just ready to be picked off by a hawk. That's not how. No. No, 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 no. We are so powerful. And part of this human experience is learning who we are, understanding our power, understanding our purpose, and embodying that fully. And our guides understand that. And they give us opportunities or give us the space to have this realization, this truth. So sometimes your higher self or your divine team will go quiet, not to punish you, but to invite you into self-trust. So we have the reminder of power. And the second part is to help you to trust yourself even deeply. it seems like the big part of this purpose is to help us to remember who we are, to come back home to ourselves, to understand and know who we are at the core, that we are unshakable. Even in the human experience, we still are. We're still powerful. We're still worthy. We're still all of that. All of that that we crave, we already are. And our guides are so beautiful in the way that they help us to remember that and hold space for us constantly. If we are listening, if we are listening, if we are aware of this, all of the paths that we see around us is leading us to ourselves. All the experiences, all of that stuff is to awaken more of our light, to awaken more of who we are. There's a reason why on the doorway of the Oracle of Delphi it says, know thyself. Know thyself. On this journey that we chose to walk on as humans, that's one of the first things we forgot. And we began to look outside of ourselves. We began to depend on other things, other energies, and giving away our power, giving away our sovereignty without even knowing that we did. And the first key is to know yourself. Because someone who knows themselves, really truly know themselves, nothing can shift them. Nothing can try to sway them into becoming something they're not. They know who they are, and they're fully anchored and rooted into that. We are being blessed by being given experiences that allow us to come home, that pulls us back to our truth, to the truth of who we are. So this is one of those episodes that I would love to hear from you. How did it feel like as you were listening to this? If you're someone who's moving through something like that, did this episode help you? And how did it help you? And if it didn't, and you have questions, please let me know. I'm here. So with that said, go ahead and close your eyes. Take a deep breath in and out. Just going to call in divine grace, divine grace, divine grace to come in and shower us all around us and to penetrate through our being into every cell of our being. Calling in divine light, divine light, divine light to shower down, surrounding us and creating an impenetrable shield around us. Showering down upon our paths, showering down upon our dreams, our visions, our passions, all that is important to us, our hearts. Thank you, thank you, thank you. So I want you to envision, see, sense, or feel that beautiful light coming down from the heart of Source, just beaming down on you. And it just comes through the top of your head and enters into your heart. And at the same time, you see another light coming up from the heart of the Divine Mother, enters through you and enters into your heart. And I want you to just simply witness your own flame, your own light within your heart. And then see all three lights, all flames. They might be fires, right? Different color fires. You know what yours is. But see all three of them mixed together and form one big, powerful flame or light. And from there, take a deep breath in. And as you exhale, this light expands and creates this huge bubble of light around you. Allow it to be as big as it can be, bigger than the room that you're in, bigger than the home that you're in, bigger than the space that you're in. It might be as big as the community that you're living in. It might be as big as the world. However big it needs to be, let it be, because that's how you're also taking sacred space. You are claiming yourself. You're claiming your space. Take a deep breath in this space and out. And at the same time, I'm going to call in all your guides and guardians of the highest light to come to you and create a golden circle around you. Take a deep breath in and out. And again, simply witness this layers of love, There's layers of grace, there's layers of protection around you, there's layers of healing around you. I'm seeing for some of you, I'm seeing things are shifting, things are being, what word am I looking for? Rearranged. There's some in your field, there's some things being kicked out that shouldn't be there. Beings are being kicked out, and you are reclaiming your space. You're reclaiming your energy. You are reclaiming your truth. You're reclaiming you. You, the big you. Take a deep breath in here and out. Beloved, you are not cursed. You are not broken. You are not unworthy. You are in a holy transition. You are shedding what no longer matches your rising. You are learning the difference between guidance and noise, between deception and truth, between fear and your own fierce knowing. Take a deep breath in and out. Breathe into this recalibrated space that you are in. Congratulations. Really feel how it feels in your body, in your heart. Feel how it feels in your mind. Feel how it feels like in every cell in your body. Experience the recalibration of all your senses, not just physical senses, especially physical senses, and the purification of your spiritual senses. There you go. There's a lot happening. Once we have this, we created this system, like I told you, this things shifting. Do you feel it? And I'm getting to, okay, this is going to be going on for 7 days. For some of you, no, 7 days. I'm getting 7 days. So be gentle on yourself. Please drink plenty of water. This transmission was more powerful than I can imagine. Like I was not expecting this. So thank you, guides. Thank you, Divine Father. Thank you, Divine Mother. Thank you, holy beings. Thank you. Thank you, higher self. Thank you for orchestrating this, for holding space. Thank you. So be it. And so it is. Take a deep breath in and out. So before I end this, I just wanted to, here are some gentle ways to recalibrate. So some tools that you can use on a daily basis. Remember, do your daily protection. I just taught you that meditation of bringing heaven and earth within your heart, and then from there expanding all around you, right? Mixing it with your own light, your own divine light in your heart, and then expanding that around you, and then calling in your guides from that place to surround you in a golden circle of light. And then also doing your grounding ritual, which that one adds in the grounding because you have that light from the Divine Mother coming in to reinforce that, right? Make sure you pause in action. So instead of action, I want you to pause in action for all the things that you want to experience. And for the next 7 days, I want you to just listen. Can you do that? You're in a very fertile place right now. I want you to just simply listen instead of asking for things, asking for experiences. Simply listen. Open up your ears, open up your senses, and just receive and see what comes through. And if you feel up to it, I invite you to write a letter to your guides, especially if you're in that dark night of the soul. Write a letter to your guides and just tell them about everything. Better yet, can you have a discussion with them, like actually talk it out? That's what I do. I actually call them in, I'm bawling, I'm mad, and I just it's like they're standing right there and I'm talking to them. And I actually do that with the divine. I just talk straight to the divine. This is what I'm going through. This is show the divine my anger, the divine mother, and the divine father. So when I say divine, I'm talking about both energies in one, okay? Because I see them as one. Talk to them about what you're going through. Don't censor it. Don't sugarcoat it. It is what it is. The divine will not be hurt by your words or your emotions, okay? It's not even about that. So please show, like, really express it, allow it to come out, and allow your guys to just hold space for you. And then lastly, this one is like, create a truth filter to discern what feels like divine versus distorted. And when you put on that divine protection of heaven and earth around you, that's actually going to create that filter for you. And you can do when you can experiment if you're up to it. The days that you don't put that divine protection on you, you can feel the difference in the type of messages and energies that you encounter versus when you have that protection around you. So you can kind of experiment with that. Right now, the next 7, like, you're creating your shield, your fortress right now, divine fortress right now. And through your higher self, you can orchestrate in knowing the difference between what is true and what is false, what is true light and what is false light, what is here to uplift you and what is here to trick you, what is here to bring you to your power and what is here to take away that power. The more you have this light around you, you'll be able to tell the difference. You'll be able to sense the difference. So let's keep this going. Oh my gosh. Again, thank you, thank you, thank you. This is what happens when you share, when you ask. Oh, good. This was such a good opportunity. Good question. So thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you, Amma B, for again showing up in such beautiful vulnerability and sharing with me and allowing me to bring some light where light is needed, right? From my heart to yours. If you know anyone who needs this episode, please share with them. And don't forget to subscribe and also like the video, the audio, depending on where you are, YouTube, Spotify, Apple, wherever you're listening at. Like, comment, share. It will help us to send this light, like amplify so that more people can receive this. Until next time, from my heart to yours, have a wonderful week. Bye.